Gamers, I'm not a fan of Calcharo. Cappuccino man's here. I am not a fan at all. He's a little edgy boy, but let me explain to you the optimized rotation you have to get in order to play him at peak performance, especially in a free-to-play environment. So, for example, I have this chick, which has a healing set that will increase my damage by 15% for 30 seconds. I also have her thing where she drops a little, well, I'm not in combat, but it'll drop a little ball. You pick that up, it'll last 15 seconds, and it's a 20% increase in damage. Then I have this one to where when I swap out, it is basic attack damage. I should probably show you these things. Basic attack damage here for 38%. I could forego that and go her instead, but I didn't want to go the double support. I wanted a little bit more DPS here since she gives skill damage, and with Cappuccino man, you spam his skill since he has it like 5 times. All right, and this is the set I was talking about, the healer set, and this is the thing I was referring to. It drops this. It's a 15%. I got it mixed up, but this is a 15% increase in damage for 20 seconds. And it's for the resonator who picks it up. So it's imperative that we actually pick this up with our main DPS Cappuccino instead of anyone else like her. We can't pick it up whenever we swap to her, which is also why I'm using this person instead of somebody like this. It's because, first of all, Cappuccino doesn't use his heavy attack a lot. He's more using his skill and his basic attack, since his heavy attack takes so long for you to proc. Since that goes with his passive, it takes about 2 seconds for you to proc and 6 seconds for you to actually get it and proc the ability. So that's a bit of time. So we're not using him. He also takes a lot of time for you, not a super long amount of time, but it's a lot harder for you to swap to him and then swap off while popping everything instead of actually using her, because once you throw out her passive and all her abilities and use a heavy attack, she's basically, her concerto meter's maxed out and you're ready to immediately swap off of her and go to your DPS, which gives us enough time to pick up Baizi's passive right here. Baizi's passive gives us enough time to pick this up since it only stays on the field for 15 seconds. So we got to be really fast with our second support character. So we pop her, we use her E ability last so that we drop that thing last to give it a max amount of time to stay on the field. We switch over to San Hua. I don't like saying these names. They're very hard for me, Cammy. So we swap over to her. We spam her abilities. We have the support set on her. So then we regen energy a lot faster. We pop her ult. We do the heavy attack. Get rid of it. Our concerto meter's full. We pop this real quick, which sometimes it does a hold ability for some reason, which makes you stay in it longer. You can just basic attack out of it after you hit an enemy. But it is annoying since I am not holding this at all. I am just tapping it, and sometimes it'll still do it. But anyway, we do that. We get the bonus damage from this, which is 12% for 15 seconds. We get the bonus damage from the whole set itself. So these two characters are absolute maximum bonus damage, okay? So then we finally swap over to Clacharo, and to get his bonus damage, we have to go over here. We have to hit him with a Mercy, which is the passive is maxed out, and we have to do a heavy attack with it. All right. You know, the heavy attack passive, once you use the skill 3 times, you use the heavy attack, and you can't be in ult form when you do this, because if we scroll down, the ult form version of the heavy attack is actually changed out with another word. So I am 90% sure, since it changes the wording here, and since this changes to Death Messenger and it's not saying Mercy as well, that this will not, or this won't be procced whenever you're in your ult state. So you have to do it before you enter your ult state. You'll get a bonus of 10% for 15 seconds. Then you can go into your ult. Now his ult's a little slow to charge, but that is the main rotation. So that is one of the reasons, mostly because to get the main DPS out of this guy. Oh, by the way, I'm running, you know, the obvious electro set on him. The main way to get the maximum damage for this guy is so convoluted. Most of the time you're running out of 1 or 2 buffs on the way there, and it just feels really bad because I like to maximize rotations. It feels good for me. And the fact that you have to do all of that just on him alone in order to get it, it falls off. So, all right, gamers, I wanted to show you the worst possible instance for us to do this and have his rotation. So what I mean by that is our concerto meter is 0 for everyone, and our ult is 0 for everyone. So this is the optimized, you know, path of rotation for him. Now, I don't have the perfect relics or anything, so we're just gonna forgo that at the moment here. So first, we're going to charge up his passive. Any second now. All right, we got his passive maxed out. We're gonna switch out to the healer, and we're gonna actually start the good rotation. Run away a little bit. Do little smacks off. My character can spin too. Back. All right, now we're gonna drop that. Switch. I'm just gonna pop everything. Pop that. And then we swap to him. We'll grab that. We do a heavy attack. You couldn't see, but I did the heavy attack. Do a heavy attack again to refresh it since it took for so long for us to pop it. And now we can ult to get our max amount of damage. And you have to pay attention to the bottom, because you have to make sure that you don't use your E ability. Oh, God, I'm dying. You can't use your E ability. Oh, whenever you're about to do your heavy attack special combo. So we got our passives up again for Clacharo. So now I swapped off. Man, he going sicko mode on us. Come on now, chill, dog. Now pop that, pop our E, show you another rotation. Bam. Hit him with this. Now we swap back. Go quickly pick this up. Heavy attack. Then we gotta charge up our ult again because it takes so long. Boom. Now we can DPS. And just like I was saying before, pay attention to that special bar at the bottom so that we don't accidentally cancel it out with a ability. And that is how you optimally rotate with this guy. You see how convoluted that is? You see how difficult that is for a free-to-play max DPS mode is? And that's the best one I can even perceive you going. Just doing all of that, and the biggest problem with him is his ult charge and the fact that you have to do this before you enter your ult. So you have to automatically already have this passive meter charged before you swap in, because if you don't, then you're going to be doing all of this, you know, wasting all that time where you could be having optimal DPS in your ult state. And let's compare that guy to this chick, which I'm not gonna, you know, I'm gonna spare you the details of having to run this all over again to see the rotation, but it's 100% easier because the way that I'm floating, the way that this chick gets her optimal DPS is by pressing this button. And now we're ready. So, and she charges her ult, which seems like a lot faster. So all you really have to do, even if you're in the ultimate, you can just pop your E and you charge it up, because all you have to do to charge up her abilities, if we just go down here and read this, it's just you have to be above 70% health. And to do that, you switch to your healer before you rotate to her, so she should be full health. This right here, I mean, it's casting the skill gives you another bonus in DPS, so that's easy. And it's whenever your resonant skill Flaming Woolly or resonant skill Cosmos Rampage is cast. So that means you can pop it in either before the ult or during the ult, and you'll get this 10% bonus rather than being forced to pop this ability, his E ability passive, or be able to pop his passive ability, his heavy attack charge, before he enters his ult, and then during his ult, it changes to this, which gives him a defense bonus. So, oh, look, he's back. So that's the problem. All I have to do for this chick is this. I guess since he spawned in, I'll show you. You just do that, bam, swap. You just get your concerto meter up like normal. Oh. Alright, got it up. Pop my E, switch out. Pop that. Pop my ult. Hit him with the charge attack. Hit him with this. Swap over. Grab the little ball on the ground. Pop my E since I don't have ult yet. Now we just charge our ult real fast. And if you don't charge ult fast enough, that's fine for either person. Just charge it up, charge it up, charge it up. Heavy attack, aho! And we start the rotation again because all of my passives are gone by now. That's what I see the biggest problem is for any of these characters, honestly, is charging up that ult. Pop that. Pop the ult. Pop the E. I popped that too early. We'll try to salvage it. Or we will not be able to salvage it. I dodged, but it threw me in the air. Hello? You know, let's restart this. Let's go. Let's restart this rotation. That was messed up. Ra. Get away from me. Get away from me. Shee. Pop the E. Now we can start doing this again. Now we heavy attack. Boom. Pop this. Alright, now we switch out. Grab the orb. Pop our E. Pop our ult. Done. You see how much easier that is? I know it didn't seem easier. It's still difficult with these two characters having to swap in, drop this ability at the right amount of time, you know, do all that. But whenever you switch to her, you don't have to worry anymore. It's kind of like free. When you switch to her, that's your DPS phase, no longer your buff phase. When you switch to Cappuccino, you still got to go through your buff phase of using your heavy attack and having that charged up. And then after you're ulting, you still have to pay attention to the bottom concerto or the passive meter to make sure that you don't use your E ability and cancel out your heavy attack. So it's a lot. It's a lot more with him. So thank you guys for coming and watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, Johnny. Thanks, Cammy. Now it's my turn, Maid Cammy, to have a little bit of a discussion with y'all. So I noticed that Clacharo also has a little tech that we like to call swap canceling, and that's whenever you swap, you know, you do the heavy attack, you swap to a different character, you start using them, and then before the heavy attack ends, you swap back to them so that you can keep using them. And it's really good. You can do it up to 3 people if you know what you're doing, but that just stacks on top of the moral of this story, which is Clacharo is way too complicated for a real life battle. Now, I'm sure there will be videos of people doing this in a real life battle. I say real life, I don't know why I'm saying that. In a boss battle where, you know, they down the boss, then they start popping all these abilities and stuff, and they got the perfect rotation. But the problem with them is that the moment that you fail one of these rotations, you kind of mess up the rest of it. And then your DPS starts going down because you messed it up. And that's just something that, I mean, why would I want to use Clacharo where he is incredibly difficult in order to get the top amount of DPS when I can instead use Encore, which is like 10 times easier, and even if you don't do swap canceling, you're going to be doing a pretty close to a similar amount of damage to Clacharo, right? So you're foregoing that difficulty in order to have ease of use, to the point where if you are trying to use Clacharo efficiently and you end up messing up rotation, you're lowering your damage, and you're probably paying so much attention on your rotations that you're missing the boss's abilities and you're getting hit by them. So you're ultimately taking damage too. So you can go with Clacharo if you want that skill curve, but he is so difficult that if I was anybody that just wanted a casual or even a Dark Souls level of combat, I would go somebody else, because it's like playing Dark Souls, but you're also having to do the Konami code while also, you're playing a fighting game and you have to hit the combo perfectly or you're going to die. You understand the difficulty scale coming here, because I've seen people do this, but I ain't seen people do this on a level 80 boss or whatever the max level boss is. I'm seeing them doing them on ads that are just sitting there and letting them just take the damage of you spamming everything on them. So this is a really cool tech. I don't want them to change it at all, but just be aware that if you are selecting Clacharo as, let's say, your 5-star selector, be ready to learn some fighting tech, okay? Be ready to sink a lot of hours in trying to get the perfect rotation. All right? And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Johnny.